Hi, this is Brian Hong and welcome to the wonderful world of Power Query. So I'm currently using Excel 2016 and this is called Get and Transform. But in Excel 2010 and 2013, it's actually called Power Query. So I'm not sure why they have different names, but they mean exactly the same thing. So for Power Query, it's all about transforming data. So before we start, I want to show you a very quick demo of how we can use Power Query to trim the data inside this table. This table has a lot of extra spaces on the names, and we want to remove them using Power Query. Because you might be wondering, where is our Power Query window? And to be able to show that, we need a data source to be our starting point. So to do that, we need to make sure that we have our Excel table selected, and I'll just select here from Data, from Table, inside the Get and Transform. And it's gonna be showing a separate window wherein Power Query will open. And this is where we can perform our magic in Power Query. So if I just move this away, you can see that you still have your workbook open over here, and you have a separate query editor window where you can use the functions of Power Query and you can perform your data cleanup in here. And one of the important things with Power Query is because you might be wondering, how come we have two separate windows? This one on this right side on the query editor, we're not touching our original data, which means it's a nice playground for you to do, right? To perform your operations, just play around with it. And you won't even touch the original data in the process. So which means if we trim this one, it won't take effect here. So now a copy of your data is being shown here. So what we can do is let's just right click here, go to transform, and let's select trim. And notice here on the right side, we have the applied steps pane. So any steps that you have performed in the query editor window are listed over here, which means it's like a historical view of all of the steps, every single step that you have done in your query. And you can also modify them. So you can see here, we have the delete icon, and then you could just move them as well all around if you want to change the order of the steps. So which means it's a open book wherein you can make your changes or play around with it. So as I said, it's a playground for you. So just feel free with your imagination on how you want to clean your data. And once we're happy with the data, we'll go to Home, Close and Load. So what will happen here is the clean data that you have done over here will be saved as a separate worksheet inside your original workbook, which means you're not touching your original data, but you have a new worksheet that is just a copy paste of what's the output over here, which is really cool, right? And we have the query editor window. There's a lot of stuff in here, but don't worry. In our next video, we'll cover that in detail on what each function will do. So once we're happy with the data, let's go close and load. And now we have a copy of this clean data inside a new worksheet.